Warning! This video may contain the following: flashing images, strong language, mental health discussion. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the egoTSET on this spookiest of all months. Yeah, so I figured, screw it, we're going to do, not quite a Halloween special, but because I'm watching lots of Herbs and Altars and I'm really missing the goth scene, I figured I'm going to go buy crap tons of makeup and just going to go for it, and I figured this was the time, this was the opportunity to at least give it a go, give it a bash, and then, yeah. Anyway, so, wig. The clothes I already had, the wig's new, the makeup's new. It's a bit awful, so don't look at it. It's really annoying that the wig actually covers up the eye that's better than the other eye, but I haven't got the time or the patience. It's taken me 2 weeks to get the effort up to actually record this damn thing, so we're just going to go with it, roll with it, and play with it, okay? Oh, I'll gladly play with it. We're off on a tangerine already. Told you I'd get them. We also have the new Timatron 99 because reasons, and I figured, screw it, if it looks awful, it may not come back, but if it looks fine, expect to see more. So yeah, anyway, so let's start this off how we normally start things off by discussing what I've been listening to since you last saw me. Frankly, not a lot, and we'll get on to why later, but there is two albums I've been listening to quite regularly. Since the start of October, that is the Nightmare Revisited. The Nightmare Before Christmas music, all re-recorded by different artists. You've got Amy Lee of Evanescence. You can tell I'm out of practice with this. Amy Lee from Evanescence, you've got Korn, you've got Marilyn Manson, you've got, I believe the All American Rejects are on it. I haven't got this to hand because it's in my car. I can't be bothered to look it up. But yeah, no, it'll soon pop up there and tell me if I'm wrong, if I've listed anyone wrong there. So yeah, the kids love Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Nightmare Before Christmas, and I like this album. Not everything's a great hit with me. I wish I could remember who recorded What's This, because that really good song. Halloween, the opening Halloween theme by Marilyn Manson is also very good, and a personal favourite of mine is Korn, Kidnap the Sandy Claus. Oh my god, that's memories of the club I used to go to, and just it was in the run up to Christmas, and it was rock night, and of course they played Kidnap the Sandy Claus. It's good. So yeah, I've been listening to that. I've also been listening to my own Halloween mix. It's not spooky music as such. It's just things that vaguely related to Halloween. Like I've got, I made this about 2 years ago. It's got the Acrobats fashion zombie on it, so you know it's not all that. But it's got some Kitty in the Casket. It's got to have Lordy. What have we got? We've got a bit of Korn. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what's on there. Murder Dolls, gotta have the Murder Dolls. And yeah, just some odds and ends, and it's a nice mix of everything, and it was just a compilation album for me to play in the car, and yeah, it's what's happened again this year. So yeah, that's the long and short. I've got no major musical inklings at the minute. Again, like I said, get back to. I'm waffling. Want some syrup with that waffle? I'm going to keep this to hand because we're going to need this a lot today, I feel. What have I been watching? Of Herbs and Altars. Yes, I have been watching a lot of Herbs and Altars, that's for sure. I've been trying to catch up with her because I just like listening to her waffle on, which is half the inspiration for me doing these. Would you Adam and Eve it? So yeah, it's been fun watching her ramble on. What else have I been watching? I've not got any live streams. Again, I'm going to get back to that. We'll get to it. But what I have been watching mostly... I'd be remiss not to shout out Digitizer. I have been able to catch up with a lot of Digitizer, and the Digitizer minis are just getting stupid, off-the-wall two-man children messing around. I can swear on these things. Yes, I forgot that. Two-man children fucking around with things. Just generally being stupid children. And it amuses me greatly. It really does. I love it. I love it. I love it. No, apart from Digi, I have also been watching wrestling again. Who'd have thunk it in this day and age? I'm actually watching wrestling and not just following it. Incredible. I know. I did try watching NXT. Adam Cole, Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's won me over. I was never a huge fan of Matt Riddle. He didn't really do anything for me, but either Adam Cole is a fucking magician or Matt Riddle's actually better than I thought he was. You can argue that one amongst yourselves. But I really enjoyed that world title match. Really, really good. And then the show kind of just went... And I'm just like, okay, we're back to NXT. We're back to regular NXT. And the point I made on Twitter a couple of weeks back is that NXT is still probably the best brand that the World Wrestling Entertainment has, but it's still a developmental program. And as good as their main event is, as good as Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Shayna Baszler, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Velveteen Dream, trying to think of who else is in the top tiers. I would rank Pete Dunne up there as well. As good as their main event scene is, their undercard lacks big time. It's at that stage where they've been pillaged and now they've got to rebuild all these new stars, and it's just like, oh, it's taking forever. Yeah, no one's quite at that level of, Aleister Black or Andrade Cien Almas level yet, where they're prepared and they're ready, almost main event ready, but they're still being kept in NXT. They're not there yet. But I will shout out Rhea Ripley, who will be an absolute freaking megastar. She is... I wish I could be Rhea Ripley right now. But I have also been watching AEW Dynamite and Dark because... Right, let me get to this. AEW is the new kid on the block. They did massive, great big numbers on pay-per-view. They've now done big numbers on TV. And quite frankly, they are the best professional wrestling program on television right now. Because every single match on these TV shows is a main event. It may not stay that way, but as it stands right now, you could have any of the... It's an old Gorilla Monsoon, I think, joke, is that this could be a main event anywhere in the country. It could be. Every single goddamn match I've watched on AEW Dynamite and AEW Dark could have been a main event anywhere across the country, anywhere across the world. I mean, oh my god, these are top tier talents putting on the best performances of their lives. They're passionate, they're hungry, it's incredible. You love wrestling and haven't watched AEW, you're doing yourself a disservice. Definitely go watch, even if you're just, old school wrestling fan and, passing interest. This will reignite things. Chris Jericho is raw and unscripted and fantastic. The talent, you've got Omega, you've got Moxley, you've got Private Party, you've got SCU. You've got, it's packed to the brim with talent. I could spend days talking about AEW, but half the internet is, so if you want to know more, go look them up. And, well, you can always ask questions and I may talk more, but I think we're not a wrestling show, so let's move on, shall we? What's happened to me? Why have I dropped off the face of the planet? And why am I not engaging with things as much as what I used to? Basically, I've hit a major lull. Since getting back on my meds and trying to deal with my depression and officially being diagnosed with, almost said borderline personality disorder. No, it's unstable emotional personality disorder. But yeah, I also have OCD. That I didn't know, but we discovered that I have OCD, and yeah, it's not quite what I expected, but yeah, coming off the back of that and getting back on the meds, I've kind of hit a lull where I'm just not engaging with a lot. I'm spending a lot of time just sleeping, which is why I'm amazed I'm here now. The very experienced TimothyTron99 has decided to take a dive. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to have to get some tips from Daft to the B about wigs, because I think I might have to actually start investing in more. I like this colour, and I like having a fringe. I like it. I like to get super on my face. Where was I? Depressed! Yes, that's where I was. Yes, so I'm spending most of my days in bed sleeping through, and I'm just not engaging with anyone or anything, and I'm just... It's a massive lull right now, and I'm not doing anything and not going anywhere. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I've been at, why I'm not engaging and why I'm not talking to very many people. I'm just not feeling it, and the depression has just got the better of me. Such is life. So, let's move on from that and try not to be completely depressing this time, and that's no more tears. We're going to do something that was suggested by the Weekend Lollyagger. Hence the title of the video, the MidSHRIEK Lollygagger, because we're stealing his, well, he didn't really, not really stealing it, he was suggesting it, putting it out there to other people, and I was just like, yes, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. I don't know why, because I looked at all of the, basically the premise is that we've got films, and we've got video games, and basically you basically pick your favourites from those genres, and it's supposed to tell you, well, it explains to you more about me and what I like and what I dislike, if you didn't already know. So, his way of picking genres was out of a hat, I believe. It was a bowl. I remember a bowl, not a hat. But I have something slightly different. Dun, da, da, da! The Wheel of Fortune! Yes! What we're going to do is, these are the 10 categories of film we have. So we're going to spin the wheel, make a deal, and see which one I'm going to talk about first. So, which button is it? It's that button. Here we go, here we go, here we go. It will stop on fantasy. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Right, so my pick for fantasy film was The Never-Ending Story, a German-made film, also made for Western audiences as well. Basically about a boy that reads a book they're called The Never-Ending Story, and he gets so absorbed into the book, it's like he's in the book, and the story in the book is really interesting, and it's got Falcor, the lovely dog dragon thing, and Atreyu, and yeah, it's emotional, powerful, and I love it. It's a proper little fantasy world that just builds, and it's just nice, and then the nothingness is coming, and it's chasing down everything, and it's going to destroy everything. It's just really, really, really good. I've made some notes. So it was released by Constantin. That was the German. What do they call them in films? I don't know. What the studio. That's it. Constantin Studio in 1984. It was brought to the West by Warner Brothers, and my favourite performance is, of course, Atreyu, who's played by Noah Hathaway. Fucking amazing, absolutely brilliant. It's great for kids. It still gets me to this day. It's essentially a kids' film, but it's powerful, very powerful. I will tell you, if you do not cry at the horse getting stuck in the mud and sinking in the swamp of despair, you are a heartless monster, and I will have nothing to do with you. Okay? Good. Now we've established that. Let's bring up the wheel again. Hang on, let me remove that one. Yes, thank you. Right, so we've taken fantasy out of the wheel, And we are now going to spin it again and see what we land on next. Round and round she goes, where she stops, nobody knows. Romantic! Now, this one replaces action adventure on the Lollygaggers list because, quite frankly, we have action adventure. I don't really know any adventure films that aren't action orientated, so I decided to replace it with this one because I'm not a big romantic kind of film watcher. It's I like some elements of romance in a film is fine, but romance is just not enough to carry it itself, which is why in fact this is actually a rom-com that I'm picking. It is in fact 3 to Tango, starring Matthew Perry, Neve Campbell and Oliver Platt. It was Village Roadshow production from 1999. I just thought it was really funny, and I love Matt Perry, and I really felt there was a strong connection between Matt Perry and Neve Campbell. I really loved the chemistry they had on screen together. Not to say, and it was also rather funny indeed, and doesn't hurt that Neve is very, very pretty woman. Mind you, Matt Perry's not too bad himself. It's just so Chandler Bings from Friends put me right off. Careful. So yeah, that would be my pick for a romantic film, if anything. So let's move on to the next one. Remove that one. The problem is I've not watched any of these films in God knows how long, so my memory's just really, really bad. So let's spin her again. We have Flat Out Comedy. Yes, comedy film. Let's remove that now. Get ready for the next one. Right, what comedy film did I pick? Because I can't remember these off the top of my head, because it's just... No, I do remember. I'm not even looking. Shaun of the Dead. Yes. I was trying to think, what comedy films do I really like? And it's like the Cornetto trilogy. What else do I like? It's the Cornetto trilogy. Something in the back of my mind was going, no, it's Shaun of the frickin' Dead. A lot of people argue that the Hot Fuzz, Edgar Wright, who was the director, Simon Pegg, and my brain just... Nick Frost. Yes, Nick Frost. Bloody hell. Yes, their Hot Fuzz outing was funnier and better. I personally have a soft spot for Shaun of the Dead. Just because I thought it was funnier. And I relate more to Simon Pegg's character in that Shaun. It's middle management, go nowhere. And he's just stuck in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. It's a juxtaposition and I love it. It's just wunderbar. Other notes on that, it was released by United in 2004. Studio Canal production. I really like their stuff. It's all, very English, and that does appeal to me. Lucy Davis was freaking brilliant in it. Bill Nighy was fantastic. Dylan Moran as David, top-notch stuff as well. He's always brilliant. And I do love Jessica Stevenson, who played Yvonne, who was also in Spaced. I really like her work. She's really good, and I'm not a huge fan of hers, but if she's in it, I like it. She's not just comedy though; she's drama. It's a shame she only had a bit part in this. I would have loved to see more of her, but then that really would have been just Spaced with zombies, which they're trying to step away from. Anyway, back to our wheel of misfortune. Click the button. What have we got? This is going to take forever, this video. Sci-fi. Not a huge sci-fi fan. You asked me to name sci-fi. I've got Star Wars, Star Trek, and my absolute favourite, Red Dwarf. But as far as the film goes, I saw somewhere listed as Donnie Darko as being sci-fi, which is kind of true. But then I saw it listed more of a psychological thriller, which I thought sat better, and I don't have thriller on this list. So probably one of my favourite films of all time, Donnie Darko, is not appearing on this. Instead, as far as sci-fi goes, I've gone with Dredd. it appeals to me. I love 2000 AD. Mostly the Dread strips in it, because the other 2000 AD strips are a bit, they can be a bit hit or miss, but the Dread ones are usually pretty good. So I was really glad to see a faithful film adaptation of this. Carl Urban is just completely stone-faced Dread, perfect, spot on. Lena Headey as Mama stole the show. You know, she was fantastic. She was brilliant. This was a Lionsgate film from 2012. Seriously, over the top, unnecessary action, and it's just spot on. This could have been an action film, but it falls into the realm of dystopian future, which technically makes it sci-fi, because they do go into space and they've got these weird... I'm counting it because Wikipedia said it was a sci-fi film. End of. Okay? Okay. Spin the wheel, make a deal. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? Horror! Woo! Perfect for this time of year. Right, horror film. What did I pick? I picked The Cube. You've probably never heard of The Cube. Let's see. It was Trimark from 1997. There was a trilogy: Cube, Cube 2, Hypercube, and Cube 0 in that order. Basically, these people wake up inside of a cube, and they have to try and escape. They find each other along the way, but they're in there for nefarious means, as things would appear, and so basically half of them die. In gruesome, horrific ways. Now, what I really, really like about The Cube is the fact that I know for a fact the original, and I think the other two as well, I'm sitting on the cable now, were produced using a single cube. One single cube set. I can't remember how big it is, but basically it's a room. One room. That's all it was, and they just changed the transparencies in the room to change colours, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's brilliant. I love it. It's the whole concept was just, you know, it's spooky, but not in the traditional there's a monster out to get you kind of way. Well, the monster is the cube, and oh, this could have been sci-fi, to be perfectly honest. This one could have been sci-fi, but it's more of a horror sort of people will cut to pieces, and it is very unnecessarily gory, and I love it. Originally, I found this out by I watched someone do an animation test based on one of the cube traps on Newgrounds using Flash, and I was like, oh, that's quite clever. Sort out the cube, never looked back, absolutely adored it ever since. Let's see, who was in this that was important? Trying to pronounce this with one fucking eye. Vincenzo Natali, the director, did an absolutely incredible job, and actually starring in the film, I really liked Andrew Miller, who was playing Kazan, who, if you watch all the films, you'll find out what happened to him, but basically he's, what's that thing? What's that word? Rain Man. What's he got? What's Rain Man got? The he's got the tick, but he's a savant. He's very good at maths, and basically he's really convincing as the character. And I just the whole Kazan thing was just brilliant. So yes, very much go watch The Cube. Watch them in that order: Cube, Cube 2, Hypercube, Cube 0, in that order. Because Cube 0 answers so many questions, and it's just like, oh. And yeah. Anyway, so back to our wheel. Let's spin it. I'm going to stop saying spin the wheel, make a deal, because I'm going to annoy myself doing that. What have we landed on? Classic action film. What have we got for action? What did I put down for action? I wrote these like a week ago. It's how long it's taken me to get to this. I am paying attention, shut up. We have Crank. Because it's fucking ridiculous. I could quite easily have put Die Hard here. Very easily put Die Hard. But the fact is, Die Hard, I've watched it for so many years, and it's been, I know it too well. I think I've watched it too often. Whereas Crank, I haven't. And to watch Jason Statham trying to keep his heart rate up, with all these ridiculous, over-the-top, stupid schemes. It's just, oh, it's so funny. It's so funny, yet it's just brilliant. Great concept. Oh, yes. Let's see. Released by Lionsgate in 2006. Guest starring Chester Bennington. Oh, bless him. Yeah, he was in both Crank films, and yeah, you can see why. You can see why. Who else? Who else was really good in it? Amy Smart as Eve. Yes. Oh my God, she makes half this film really fun to watch. Really good. And Jose Pablo Cantillo as Ricky Verona, the main antagonist. Verona. I can really believe him. With Jason Statham being completely sort of English fuck you, and then Verona being really pissy about it. It's funny. I love it. Crank. Stupid, mindless violence is exactly what it's meant to be. So, we've got 4 categories left. We'll try and knock these out as quick as we can, because otherwise we're going to be here all year. What have we got? Foreign cinema, which is a bit of a BS term, especially considering I used the Neverending Story, which was German, and that's foreign to me. I could technically use American films because they're all foreign to me. But as far as foreign cinema goes, there is one and only one film that stands out head and shoulders above the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle Royale. Yes, based on the old the manga. No, it wasn't the manga. No, my apologies. It was a novel that was turned into a manga and a film. Who wrote the book? It was Kushin Takami. The film was released by Toei in 2000 and is a bunch of school kids, because of the overpopulation in Japan in the distant, well, not too distant future. Classes from secondary schools are plucked out of their school, put on an island, bomb collars round their necks. They're told, go and kill your other fellow students until there's one person left standing. That one person goes home and is alive, everyone else is dead. End of story. This is where the Battle Royale concept comes from video games, and quite frankly, it's a cinematic masterpiece. I mean, the visual effects were actually used, inspired the Shaun of the Dead visual effects, and probably Edgar Wright from here on out until forever. So it's an important piece of history and has inspired one of the greatest directors of all time. So do go seek this out. It's good. If you're not good with subtitles, tough shit. Deal with it. It's fucking incredible. Okay? Okay, cool. So, once more to the wheel. We've only got 3 selections left. What have we got? Kids film! Again, I've already had a kids film on here already, so yeah, kind of cheating. But such is life. We are going to go for, as much as I love kids films, and there's so many of them I could watch over and over again. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I said it right this time. Yeah, this is probably what resonated with me and really pushed me to just let me enjoy dark, gritty things. Before, it was all sort of, it's Castlevania video games, not so much. But this sort of brought everything to the public eye and let dark be mainstream, and I'm so glad it did. Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, what a combination. The whole thing was genius. The whole story was, it's a bit flat really when you look at it, but it's just so good. The stop motion animation, just the acting in it, I mean, the whole thing just really resonates with me. Always has done, always will do. It's just an amazing film. If you haven't watched it by now, where have you been? Welcome to Earth. Please enjoy your visit. So yeah, it was, it was, I know it's owned by Disney now. Who owned it originally? It was Touchstone Pictures from 1993. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's awesome. Go watch, please do. 'Tis the season. Right up until Christmas, you can watch it for 3 months of the year and no one gives a fuck. final two, what's going to be our last one before we give it up? On this wheel, we have drama. My pick for drama film is my absolute all-time favourite film ever. It's The Wrestler. It's not necessarily the greatest film ever. I will hold my hands up and completely admit that. There are a lot of flaws in this film, and it's not a masterpiece. But I look at this and I see myself as a father, a former professional wrestler in training, and I love pro wrestling, and just to watch all the ins and the outs that I'd already known about, but to see them portrayed fairly accurately in a film. Mickey Rourke does an incredible job playing, I forget, the Ram. Ernest the Cat Miller is a fantastic as the Ayatollah. I'm so glad he got this gig. He you know, really, really glad for him. And just... Oh, and the Necro Butcher getting the part that he did. Good on him. You know, really lovely man, really. Fucked out of his head, but lovely Necro Butcher. Did I have any other notes on this? Released by Fox in 2008, and yeah, it's just one of those films that just completely gets me. So, all that leaves on our list is the musical. So, which film did I pick as a musical? Because I've already had Nightmare Before Christmas. Repo Man! It's the Repo, the Genetic Opera. The idea of being in the future and getting replacement body parts, but you don't pay them off, then the Repo Man comes and repossesses your organs. What the? But it's not that. That's not even the thing. That's not the story they're telling. That's not the story. It's brilliant. It's ridiculously over the top, campy, but there's some wonderful depth below the layers. It's not like Repo Men or Repo Man. I can't remember what film it was where it was basically that, except the Repo Man's on a vigilante. I didn't pay much attention. I got bored. But this is not about that. It's not about the act of being a Repo Man. It's about the man behind the Repo Man. And this greedy, corporate, self-indulgent bullshit family. Paris Hilton as, what did her character? It was Amber Sweets. Try not to look at my... Yes, Amber Sweets. Paris Hilton is a fantastic... I didn't realise it was Paris Hilton, and I instantly took back everything bad I ever said about her. She may have promptly got those words back again following that, but this film, she was fucking amazing. Brilliant. Alexa Vega playing Shiloh did a fucking brilliant job. Absolutely brilliant. What's in that? Let's see. I wasn't too keen on a lot of other performances as such. They didn't really jump out at me, but those two, really, really good. The sound, the audio, the recordings, everything. I'm going to mispronounce this. No, I won't. Yoshiki, who has done some incredible work, and just throughout this entire film, just everything just sounds incredible. And also big props to Terence Zdunich, mispronounced that terribly, who was the grave robber and the narrator, who really ties the whole story together and does an incredible job of really making this film whole. Have I prattled on long enough about films? I think I have. I can see why the Weekend Lollyagger did some cuts, because this is taking forever. However, that said, I'm determined to get this done today, so I have another reason to do something else next time. Where has my mouse gone? There it is. So, this time we are looking at the video games. So that's what we've got. 10 video games genres that we're going to play with. let's spin us a wheel, make us a deal. We are getting fighting game. Right off the top of the bat, my all-time classic, I'm going to sit down and play something genre. For this, I have picked Tekken Tag Tournament 2, because basically it does exactly what I want it to. I can pick it up, play it, I can go for an arcade run, I can do, you know, I can tag mode. It's fighting game at its purest. Left, kick, right, click, click. You get the idea. It's basically martial arts, except with over-the-top monsters and robots. Who produced that? It was, of course, Bandai Namco, released in 2011 on the PS3, 360, and the Wii U. Yeah, it's just a great game. I don't know what more can say about it. I mean, the Tekkens were all good. 3 was my favourite for the longest time, but Tekken Tag 2 just, I don't know, it didn't need a story as such. It was just fighting for the sake of fighting, and it just really appealed to me. Really did. So let's move on quickly, as quickly as we can. Quickly, spin the wheel again. Kind of rhymes. Almost. Oh, is that? It says it's racing. I'm not so sure myself, but okay, we'll take it as a racing game. My favourite racing game of all time. Narrowly beating out Chase HQ and Outrun, because quite frankly they were a bit one-dimensional and not much to them. We have Burnout Paradise. How could it not be from the Burnout series, for God's sakes? What I like about Paradise is that it basically incorporates everything you could ever enjoy about a racing game into one island of mechanical mayhem. It's got almost like a Demolition Derby mode where you smash cars off the road. It's got stunts runs. It's got crash modes where you try and smash the cars and make as much damage as possible. Regular races. Dozens upon dozens of cars to unlock. Eventually you've got motorcycles. It got an expansion with Surf Island. There's a varied amount of courses, and it's open world, so you can make your own. Basically, these guys, Criterion, made the game. Was Criterion? Why am I? Yes, it was Criterion. I'm looking in the wrong bloody place. Published by EA, made by Criterion though, and this is basically why EA got Criterion to take over their Need for Speed series, because Criterion were just the best. And now the Criterion team is now split off and they're doing their own thing. I forget. I will not mention it until I can remember it, and I'll probably have to do a playthrough or something of their stuff soon, because they're a smaller team with a smaller budget and they're not quite as impressive as this. So that was released in 2008 for the PS3, 360 and the PC. If you're interested in getting it, be warned, the DLC is no longer available from what I understand, so you're missing out on a few bits and pieces. Server's still online though. Up to 16 players in a session, and it's completely open world. You can do races, whatever, or you can just drive around smashing the living daylights out of each other if you prefer. Right, next genre, come on. This video's taken 41 minutes, Jesus Christ. RPG. As much as I'd love to have a top-down traditional RPG, I mean, technically I could throw Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX in here and be completely legitimate about this. Well, that's more of an action game than an RPG. No, for a true RPG, I have gone for Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is probably the most legitimate roleplay game I've ever played outside of a visual novel. Your choices matter. You decide who is going to live, who is going to die, who you're going to trade with, who's going to get what part. You decide the outcome at the end. And whilst there are not too many outcomes to choose from, it's a story you tell in a world built for you to play around in. Obsidian Entertainment, just an amazing job with Fallout New Vegas, and it's a bit cliche to say Fallout New Vegas over the other Fallouts. I love Fallout 3. But the problem with Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 was that I got so far and I thought, I'm I'm just exploring the world now. I'm not interested in the story. I'm just exploring the world and having fun. And once I'd reached the end of the world, it's kind of like, now what? Whereas New Vegas had me hooked. The story it told and the story I was telling, I was invested in. I wanted to get into the casinos. I wanted to see what happened. I wanted to know what happened to all of these clans and these tribes, and to stop Kaiser. You know, it's just, it had me invested. End of story. Bethesda hasn't really achieved the pinnacle since, although it has done good work and ruined its good favour with 76. But New Vegas released 2010, PS3, 360, PC. Are you noticing a pattern here? I'm a classic video gamer, but these games are hard to top. They really are. My voice is starting to go. My throat's getting sore. Yes, okay. Spin this wheel one more time for me. I know which song I'm singing next time. Classic action game. Okay, so as far as action games go, they're a dime a dozen. But there's one game that is truly my absolute favourite video game of all time. Again, not because it's the most well-crafted game. It's hard as hell. Hit detection's a pain in the arse. Platforming's crap. If I'm honest, it's crap. And the visuals are not all that good by today's standards, but American McGee's Alice. This motherfucker resonates with me so much. It's just the fact of Wonderland being somewhere inside your own mind that you retreat into because you're going insane. And to defeat your mental demons, you have to battle the twisted versions of the Wonderland characters. It's just, it speaks to me on so many levels. It was made by Rogue, which are now basically Spicy Horse, who are making now a third Alice game. It was published by EA in 2000, originally on the PC. You can now get it on PS3 and 360. It's just, the visuals in it, although they're not great, the visuals and the levels and the character designs, it's all from the twisted mind of American McGee. And can you tell I like the twisted shit? Can you tell? It's an experience. If you don't want to play the game because it is pain in the arse, go watch a playthrough. It's really good and really just a wonderful story to be told. Really, really good game. Really good game. Okay. And you spin me right around, baby, right around like a record, baby. Sim! Yes, my favourite simulator game. Well, as much as I'd like to put farming... No. No. For me, you've got your Sim Cities, you've got your City Skylines, you've got all of these world-building games that I love so much. But because I'm a person who likes a story in my video game, building stories and worlds, The Sims 3... I should have worn my Sims Plum Bob earrings. Never mind. Yeah, The Sims 3. It was... for the longest time, I only ever really liked The Sims 2. I couldn't get on the hang with Sims 3, but eventually I fell in love with the storytelling aspect of it and really, really got into the groove of, okay, this is the family, this is the world, everything's happening around them. Really good. Sims 4 balked everything and I'm refusing to go to it. I'm not going to buy it. Unless I can get it for like 20 quid. But no, to get all of the Sims 4, all the expansion packs, it costs an absolute fortune. And they just keep releasing stuff that's like, surely that could have been in the other pack? Surely that could have been in this pack? Whereas previous Sims expansion packs, they felt like they were full and complete. And basically, I just don't like EA's monetization at the minute. It really puts me off. And Sims 4 looks like a really good game, just monetization puts me right off. But yeah, The Sims 3, produced by Maxis, published by EA, when was it, 2009 on the PC. The only way to play it don't play on the consoles, play on the PC, mod the hell out of it, get all the expansion packs, preferably without paying EA a penny, but no. Sims 3, if failing that, Sims 2 is awesome. Sims 1 was alright. I loved it, I spent far too long playing it, but no, 2 or 3, definitely where it's at, definitely. Okay, we are down to our final 6. Oh, final 5, my apologies. We are going to take a look at sports games. I don't know if you can tell, I'm not one for sports. With my belly and my dangly earrings and the wigs. I of course love a bit of professional wrestling, but people argue that's sports entertainment, not sport. So I'm going to rule that one out, basically because I've got a sports game that I much prefer, and that's Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Love the Tony Hawk's games, although people will point out to me that I'm absolutely shit at them. Well, guess what? You don't have to be good at games to enjoy them. Yeah, produced by Neversoft, published by Activision, 2004, PS2, original Xbox and PC. Not PC, GameCube. Well done, Timus, you fucked that one up. GameCube. Although don't play on the GameCube because it's cut down and you haven't got all the cool audio tracks. PS2 is where it's at, I think. But yeah, Thug 2, it's got a whole host of my favourite skaters. It's got stupid stuff in it. The levels are good. It's got classic levels. The skating is sublime. It's just my favourite of all the Tony Hawk's games. Narrowly beating out Tony Hawk's 4. And yeah, it's just a fantastic game. Well worth playing. And I don't know what more I can say. It's a skateboarding game, and this is where Tony Hawk's got to before it started to take a slippery slope down. Project Wasteland was okay. Project 8 never really quite grasped anything again, and yeah, it fell out of grace since then. So I'm hoping Activision gives up the goddamn license and we can get a decent Tony Hawk's game, because that would be really nice. 4 categories left. The final 4. What are we gonna get? Strategy games. I personally can't stand real-time strategy, so that rules out most of them. As far as turn-based games go, I might have gone Heroes of Might and Magic 5. Plus 5. But, quite honestly, the fact that I'm reluctant to pick it up all the time puts it out of the running. It's just, I've got to be solid few hours playing that game, and I never give myself the time for it. Civilization Revolution 5 as well. What am I talking about? Civilization 5, dickhead, is really good, and that will eat days of my life if I let it. But I'm going to have to go with the game that got me into the Civilization games, finally spit it out, Civilization Revolution, which was released on... Maybe I won't go with the fringe anymore. It looks cool. Impractical as fuck. Need a hair clip. That'll do it. Civilization Revolution was released in 2008 on the PS3 and the 360. And then Civ Rev 2 is basically the same game except on tablet and Vita. Made by Firaxis, don't know how you pronounce the damn thing, but they are the business. Published by 2K. We don't like 2K. But as far as turn-based games go, this one is simple, but can ramp it up, and you can get complicated, and it's nowhere near as in-depth as the other Civilization games, but it's enough there to lure me in, and basically I will play until the campaign's won, and that could take quite some time. So yeah, that's my pick for a strategy game. The final 3 to be picked. Spin the wheel. Oh, what have we got? First person shooter. I don't have the twitch reflexes for online multiplayer. I really don't. Excuse me. No, FPS has never really appealed to me. Not something I really enjoyed. I can't think of anything that really sort of resonates with me apart from Half-Life. Basically, I could have included Portal in this, but that's kind of a puzzle game. Why is there not a puzzle game on this list? Lollygagger, I question your choice of game genres. Question your choice of film genres, but I'm already over an hour as it is. Over an hour? Nearly. Close to an hour. Yeah, the first person shooter. Half-Life is definitely the winner outright. Half-Life 2 was really good, but Half-Life was the one that made me fall in love with storytelling in the game, and it didn't feel like a first person shooter, it felt like a first person adventure. And I think that's what appealed to me. The gunplay was secondary to the tale, whereas most modern games, it's about the gunplay. And I don't like that. It's not really my thing, although I might get a VR headset and play hot dogs, horseshoes and hand grenades and change my mind completely. We'll see. We'll see. Right, the final two genres of video game we are going to talk about. Which one are we going to land on? If you said adventure, congratulations, get yourself a cookie. The adventure game that I have picked as my all-time favourite was hard. Initially I thought Monkey Island. Original Monkey Island, absolutely by far and away my favourite of all time. Love the humour, love the adventure, and I thought, hang on, I really enjoyed Discworld Noir. Not that the Discworld's point-and-click adventures were good, but Discworld Noir. Oh, I like that. That got really into the grimy side of Discworld, and I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, I realised, hang on, what's not on this list of my all-time favourite games? Life is Strange. Do I need to explain to you just how emotional this game made me feel? Seriously, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to spoil it, but basically, the fine people, where's it gone? Don't nod, that's it. Don't nod. The world, the characters, the story, the graphics, the gameplay. Oh, it's yeah, really is. It was published by Squeenix, 2015, PS3, 360 and on PC, and is now available. You can get all 5 episodes in one bundle, and you should. It's the best thing I've played in quite some time. Honestly can't recommend this enough. I haven't played Life is Strange 2. I have played the little spin-off freebie, I think it was. Captain something or other. I'll flash it up there quickly. But really, Life is Strange it's good. Hauntingly good. And of course, that leaves us with our last genre, Battle Royale. What, like DayZ, Fortnite, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? Don't be stupid. As far as I'm concerned, when I think of Battle Royale, I think of this. Now, I could quite easily have picked WWF Royal Rumble on the SNES off the top of my head, but really that isn't my favourite. And as far as I'm concerned, all the latest 2K games are just an amalgamation of each other. So the best way for me to pick a winner for the best wrestling game that's my favourite is to have the one that has Nikki Cross in it. So WWE 2K18, thank you very much. Nikki Cross, produced by Ukes, published by 2K, 2017, PS4, Xbone and the PC. Yeah, if you want a Battle Royale game, you can't do better than an actual Battle Royale. And like I said, really the only reason I've picked this game over any of the others is because it's just the most modern, it's it's just good. They're all good, and it's the one that's got Nikki Cross and Sanity in it. So how could I say no? Really, to be honest. And so that ends up my MidSHRIEK Lollygagger. I was about to say Wollygagger then, because that was a joke I was going to put in earlier and I didn't. I'm going to stop tangerining and we're going to end this now because my head, my throat, Happy Halloween, everybody. Maybe I'll see you before. I doubt it very much. And yeah. Oh God, I'm just going to fucking die here, alright.